Hello, this is a presentation about fostering long distance communication. And my name is Alex Howard. Have you ever been away from your family for a long period of time? Or perhaps you have a family member who's gone to another part of the country or the world, or you may just have extended relatives in other parts of the world. If you look at family as a system, it's interconnected and interrelated at all times. So if you do have those geographic boundaries, you're still connected by your bloodlines, by your genetic similarities, and of course by your past experiences and your family history. In this presentation, I'll talk about why separations might happen in families, some tools to keep in touch with relatives that live far away, and my personal experience and the personal relevance of this topic. Some of the causes of separation in family can be due to work. Maybe somebody gets a job in another place. It can be due to military deployment, to studying abroad and being an international student. It can be due to death and having to travel to take care of family matters or funeral arrangements. People can travel for marriage, or people can travel because of personal conflict and being perhaps just sick of things and wanting to get up and get out of the situation or environment. And of course, there's the simple possibility of somebody wanting to move to experience new opportunities and a new environment or a change in scenery. So when these separations happen, what are some important ways to keep in touch with the family members? There's email, of course. It's a simple, quick tool that replaces the old letter system and snail mail. You have social media, like probably Facebook is the most common thing. You can share pictures and connect with extended family members in that sense. And the most important tool, in my experience, and I think for many people in communicating with family members that live far away, is definitely Skype. Now, Skype is a technological communication tool that allows you to chat, make voice calls, or video chat with other people anywhere in the world as long as they have internet connection and the Skype program. And you can do this for free. So it's a really, really important tool to use when you have family members that live in other parts of the country or the world. Now, Skype is a really important tool, but it doesn't exactly replace face-to-face communication. There is still an importance of physically visiting a person wherever they live. But this can be hard. It can be very expensive if you have to travel across seas abroad. It can be very time-consuming, and it may not be realistic for many people to go out and visit a relative in Asia or Europe or Australia or somewhere very far away if you're living in America. So in those cases, Skype becomes a very important tool to still give you interaction. And it's cheap and easy and quick. My personal experience with the topic, I'm actually the only living relative of my family in the United States. This is a result of when I was younger, I lived in the UK with my parents, whom are British, and then they split up when I was younger. My mother took me to California, and unfortunately she passed away several years ago. So that now, my only living relatives are, as you can see in the picture I created with Google Maps, are living in the UK, Poland, and in Estonia, in Eastern Europe. And I have some pictures to display some of my personal experiences. At the top right is my father and I in Estonia when I went to visit. At the bottom left is my father and many of my distant second cousins and Polish relatives on my mother's side when I went to visit. And at the bottom right is Paddington Station in England when I went to go visit my grandmother in the UK. And visitation becomes really important when you can do it, but when you can't, Skype is essential. Skype's been really important to me, and I really don't know if I would have any contact really at all with my relatives if it weren't for that tool, because it's really expensive to call, and you don't always know when somebody's going to be at the phone nowadays, and there's of course big time differences far away, like in Europe. So that's why long distance communication has become a really important part of my life and my family history. In conclusion, I've talked about some of the different factors that can cause moves far away and can spread family members apart. I've talked about some of the various communication tools to improve a family interaction when you're living far apart, and the personal relevance of this matter to me. Keeping in touch is very important. I'd encourage you to give Skype a try if you don't already use it, or to encourage you to reach out to those family members who live far away for whatever reason on Skype. And even if you don't have family members who may live apart, give Skype a try anyways, download it, get some experience with it, encourage your family members to do the same, so that if you ever need to, you will have that resource available to you. Here are some of the references that I used for this speech. Thank you.